I commend this bill to the House.
Mr. Speaker.
I call the Honourable Minister
Mr. Speaker.
Tim Grocer.
Mr. Speaker, I simply suggested to my honourable member that I might split the vote with him just to make a very simple reply to the Right Honourable Winston Peters on his very important and legitimate question, which was, if I may paraphrase it without doing any violence to the reality of what the Right Honourable member said, why, if this is such a good bill, is the National Party not putting this forward in its own name instead of allowing it to become a private member's bill? Well, I think the answer to the member's question is very obvious. And the Right Honourable member knows this better than any member in this House, given his experience, which is that we operate by ballot. And we are so sick of listening to half-witted, ill-considered private members' bills that we thought it was better to put forward a very sensible proposition to lower the probability of having to put back yet another idiotic proposition from the opposition. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, if we're talking about unions, Mr. Speaker, perhaps I could reflect, given the discussion this afternoon, on my one experience as a trade unionist.
When was this?
This was when I was a member of Actors Equity, and I was a member of Actors Equity for a number of years as a professional actor, and I had the great misfortune, I have to say, to attend a meeting in the Auckland Art Gallery not so many years ago, in which New Zealand Actors Equity, a union to which not only I had belonged, my father had belonged, my mother had belonged, and listen to the takeover of Actors Equity New Zealand by the Australian Actors Equity. And having strongly supported New Zealand professional actors in having a reasonable workplace, knowing the sheer naivety of the New Zealand Union and allowing themselves to be taken over by an anti-employer oriented workforce which was trying to price New Zealand professional actors out of the market, I could not believe the naivety of the people at that conference. So those are the sort of considerations that have left me to want to take the floor for a brief minute to express my viewpoint on this excellent bill that I commend to the House.
Mr. Speaker.
I call the Honourable Member Jan Logie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Green Party